effect. We are back. We are back. I hope you are having a great Saturday. And as always, I hope you are having an amazing weekend so far. I want to welcome you to another great episode of The Color of Motion, where, hey, I like to say stories come in all shades. And I highlight people of color and diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. This space that, I'm just crazy about. You know the drill. Make sure you kind of hop into the chat, the comments, say, hey, where you tuning in from so I can give you a shout out. Excuse me. Let me know how everything's coming through while I'm making sure that all the channels are up and going and playing. So jump on into the comments. I've been super excited about this episode. I know you will be too, but I definitely want to, like I said, have you enjoy this episode. Let's see, we are all set on all the other channels here. So if you're having an issue, please make sure that you hop in and let me know so I can get on that as well. Also, hey, the store is open. Make sure you hop on over to the store, pick you up some Color of Motion swag. We got some shirts, hoodies, mugs, constantly putting new stuff up there. So my goal is to see Color of Motion stuff all over the place. So make sure you hop on over there and pick you something up. My only request is if you do, take a picture of yourself, send it to me so that I can highlight it on the show, put it on the channels, and give you some props there for sure. So hop on over to thecolorofmotion.com/swag.com, colorofmotion.net/swag, and pick you up some gear there for sure. Also, you can connect with me on all my social channels right here. Definitely want to hear from you. Shout out, give me a shout out. Let me know what you think of the show. Any guests you may want me to try and get on, but I want to connect with all my viewers, so you can reach me on all those channels right over there as well. Like I said, we stream each and every week live to the YouTube channel, LinkedIn, the Facebook group, and the website you can check out the show at. But I always encourage everybody to kind of hop on over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, comment, hit the bell notification so that you get notified of when all new content goes on there. And there you can, check out all the other past great guests that I've had on the show. So get yourself plugged into the YouTube channel and subscribe. Definitely will help the algorithm as well. Also, make sure that you hop on over to the Facebook group community. Get plugged in there. Facebook.com/groups/The Color of Motion. The family is growing and continuing to grow. We share industry news, have some great conversations. So I don't want you to miss out. So hop on over to the Facebook group, get plugged in, and there you can check out the show as well. So what else? Man, oh man, oh man. Just so much stuff going on. Like I said, I'm super excited that you all are joining me. This is the final episode of Season 3 before I take a little break. I'll be coming back with live episodes April 1st. And in between then, I'll be rebroadcasting some old episodes, kind of getting caught up with some things, getting prepped for kind of the second portion of Season 3, and just taking a little break as well. But definitely super glad that you are joining me for this kind of little, like I said, final episode of the first part of Season 3. I decided to try something different for Season 3 and take a little break in between a couple of months there. So like I said, we will be back live with some live guests, and you'll see our next live guest at the end of the show. But we will be back April 1st live. But like I said, I'm not leaving you out or leaving you hanging the month of March. We will be rebroadcasting. I may do a couple of impromptu little lives in between then, but for the most part, taking that little break to kind of get prepped for the second portion of the show. What else? Man, oh man. Also, like I said, we always like the people that support the show. I definitely want to thank today's episode, today's sponsor for this episode, DG Graphics. They do all the graphics, the overlays, the animations for the show. And if you are a business or brand that's looking to level up your brand design, maybe start your own live stream show, they can definitely help you look good creating your graphics and your designs and everything. So make sure you hop on over to dggraphics.com, check them out, get in touch with them. Like I said, I appreciate them for always sponsoring the show. All right. I think with that, we can kind of get this show on the road. So we'll be back in a minute. That was a little late. Yes, we are back and ready to get this kicked off for sure. Again, make sure you hop in. I want to hear from you guys and gals. I'm pretty sure is checking us out. But hop in the comments, like I said, and engage with this episode because I know you're gonna enjoy it. Because, like I said, this one's been a long time coming. I was trying to get a next guest on in season 1, so it's been taking 2 seasons to get him on the show, but definitely worth the wait for sure. So my next guest is an experienced animator working in the U.S. He has an extensive and varied experience in his field, and he believes he's always looking forward and taking on new challenges with a fresh perspective and creating powerful moving experiences for audiences through animation. He began his career in animation at Walt Disney and has been on a journey with his passion for working in film, television, and games. And as an animator, he has had wonderful experiences working with great companies such as Disney, Feature Animation, Nickelodeon, Viacom, Curious Pictures, Cartoon Network, and a bunch of other smaller animation studios. Everybody, please help me welcome my very special guest and friend, the one, the only, Mr. Antoine Cunningham.
Antoine.
Antoine.
I
Like
like
I
that
was
music.
saying,
That brings
like I was saying, this was a long time coming, but well worth the wait, brother.
yeah,
Well worth the
I gotta,
wait.
yo, man, I gotta look good on the stage for the women. My
You
girlfriend's
look
gonna kill me,
amazing. You look
no.
amazing. You look amazing, man. And like I said, I cannot thank you enough for coming on the show, supporting the show, and just being a part of it, man.
Yeah, it's so amazing what you're doing for people of color, man. Giving them a voice. I really want to thank you that from the bottom of my heart. I feel like I owe you this one because for years and years you're trying to get me on this thing, man, and I owe you this. You know what I mean?
Man, I appreciate it. Like I said, I came across you what like we were saying almost 2 3 years ago, saw your work and just knew I had to get you on the show. But hey, like I said, I'm a patient person. I know
Yeah.
people are working busy, so timing may not always work out, but I knew you had such value to really inspire others, and
Thanks, man. I
spur
appreciate
them
it.
on.
I think I suck, but thank you so much.
Well, hey, I can tell. I'm going to tell everybody he doesn't. Once you see his work, he doesn't. He's just being modest and really downplaying his skill. But
Every day I bash my girlfriend with this. She's like, "Stop it," you know what I mean? So yeah,
I'm expecting to see her hand slap you upside the head. Quit that! Quit that!
stop it, man. No.
Oh man, I always like to know how you initially got interested in. I'm always interested in how artists got interested in animation. Was it something you always loved and wanted to be a part of, or was it something that you kind of picked up a little later down the line, or what?
You want the long version or the short version?
Whatever version you want to give me, bro. Where I got time.
Listen, I want to give a shout out to the people that I love and care about the most. This makes me a little bit emotional here. My friend David Carwell is like, I love him to death. My girlfriend, she dealt with all my stuff that's getting on her nerves and what I'm trying to do, and I love my daughter. Hopefully she's attended this thing. I'm a cure if she's not. Um, uh, uh, nah, I love yeah. Everything is about my kids now. Like as I got older, it's all about my kids. When I was younger, I'm gonna make this short. Uh, and David knows this. Like he grew up in a more upper class area than I did. Right? Like
Yeah,
he's a founder. He's like amazing. He's a genius to me. He's the founder of. You remember the program Mudbox?
yeah, Mudbox.
Yeah, David did part of Mudbox, ZBrush, and he's just freaking amazing. You know what I mean? He does all the tech and
Wow.
designing tools and all that. He has his own company with Adobe now and all that. He's
Oh
freaking
man.
amazing. Um, so I'm trying to get to his level. You know what I mean? As far as growth and wealth. But I admire him so much, and you know, to make a long story, go back to your question. To make a long story short, I grew up in a impoverished, depressed area where, as an Afro American man, you wasn't supposed to make it out of the ghetto, right? Like I would have
Yeah,
to step over bodies, see people getting shot and killed, fights outside my door. I would have to fight all the time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and so I don't say that to use that as an excuse or as a victim. I say that as that was like my fuel to get out of that, right? And so me sitting here with you is a testament to that, right? Um, so I just believe that I had good role models. My father wasn't necessarily in my life, but I had good uncles who guided me in the right way, kept me out of trouble. I had spells where I was in trouble. Um, as a young adult, young male, you go through different spells. But I always
yeah,
had this wonderful gift, God-given gift to do this craft and just to do art in general. And that's the one thing that kept me out of those things. Like
yeah,
so,
yeah,
growing up in those in those kind of areas kind of push me just to keep going and say, hey, I want to be something. I want to be somebody. No matter how I get there, I want to be relentless about it, right? Like my attitude is like, if you're the best motherfucker that knows how to do what you need to do, I'm coming to you because and learn from you because you know how to do it better than I, right? So I'm gonna take that knowledge and apply it to myself and to my own skill set so that I can be better, right? Um, and growing up, I was just, I met all my friends and stuff in college, and I had always, I was able to draw, from my mother's womb, basically, coming out of birth. But I needed to harness that, and I was able to harness that by going to school and getting trained by some phenomenal professors, phenomenal artists, and then I migrated those skills to just, working hard every day, every single day, even to this day. But I wasn't as focused back then like I am now. You know what I mean? Because I'm doing it for more reasons than just myself. Um, so uh, it was hard. It was hard, because you don't have those opportunities. Again, I don't like being a victim. I like to go out there and take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm very pro. I'm very, I'm like a comeback dude, but very intense, right? I'm very intense and very relentless on what I want, and I just work my ass off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I work my ass off.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
but to make a long story short, I went through all that, and then I was lucky enough after college to be skillful enough to want to go to one of the biggest conglomerate companies in the world, right? Because at that time they were like they went around the country to all these schools, and I think they needed 11 people out of all the particular. I can't remember all those particular schools they were looking at, and so I was lucky enough to be able to draw well. So at that time they had all these like Lion King,
Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, all these movies where they needed animators for, but they needed you to draw well, right? And then they would train you to be an animator through that process, right? Because everything was done on paper. Um, so I was just lucky. And then when I got there, I was just a little peon. You know what I mean? I worked under Glenn Keane. I worked under Ruben
That's a good
Aquino.
person to work on.
Yeah, I didn't work directly under Glenn Keane, but I worked on
Yeah.
his movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, so,
But
you
to
know what
be
I mean?
able to learn and be in that position that you're learning from people like that
Glenn
is a
Keane, one
great
of the best
position.
animators I've ever seen. Like his shots are just amazing. Like because back then they had these things where they had these little rooms where animators would test their shots before they would go into dailies, or they would shoot play blasts. But they wasn't called play blasts then. They were called scene machines, and they were just like cameras that you would have hooked to a stand, and you would just put down every drawing, right? And so you would shoot it, run back, play it back, see if it's working. If something wasn't working, you would go back, run back to the scene machine, make tweaks, shoot it again until you got the animation right, and then you were ready for dailies, right, to show it.
Yeah.
So uh, one of my other animators that trained me, his name is Rune Beneke. He was from I don't know if he was from Germany, one of those countries, but he was younger than me at the time. And he was an amazing animator, right? And he saw me in there fumbling around doing all this crap, and he was just like, "You're not doing this right. You're just not. This is not right." And so that wasn't the first time that he came around and said he kept coming around, like, because he always saw me in there just like trying to work hard to get better at this craft, right?
Yeah.
Um, and he was like, "I see that you're serious about learning this, and I want to teach you." And I said, "Okay, all right, I'll do it." You know what I'm saying? Like, you better than me. I want to take what you got and apply it what to where I'm trying to go because I was hungry, right? And I'm still
Yeah.
hungry to this
Yeah.
day. So I'm really thankful for him. I'm thankful for Ruben Aquino who worked on Ursula and all these big films. I mean, he's retired now. I actually had Ursula. I mean, I actually had Ruben Aquino on one of my shows with one of my students that I was doing. I had him come on. He was nice enough to come on and talk to them. I mean, he's a lot older now,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
but he was really, really beautiful person to just hardcore but beautiful, right? Like it's just like, yo, you're not doing this shit right. This is not, you know,
Yeah.
But to make a long story short, I went through all that, and then worked on all those films, and then I transitioned to TV and started doing all this TV stuff, right? And I went to New York and I was on Nickelodeon, all these TV shows. I can't even, my IBM, it's like I don't even put all of this stuff because I have to update all this stuff.
Yeah.
And like small shops, big shops, all every just because you back then you had to really hustle for work. Nowadays it's easy to get work, right? Like you connect and you build relationships with people. It's easy to get work. Nowadays, back then you had to really hustle. You
Yeah.
had to literally walk into the studio and be like, "Please give me a job,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
nowadays it's easy, and a lot of these I try to explain this to a lot of young folks is they don't understand like these jobs wasn't where they were back then. Like
Back
you really had to
then.
hustle.
Yeah.
You had to walk the pavement, man, with VHS tapes and all this stuff, portfolios, papers
Yeah.
falling,
Portfolio cases and all of that stuff.
like
I
you
don't think
know,
I've touched mine since I graduated.
yeah, and then at the same time, 3D Toy Story came out, 3D, all this 3D stuff was coming out, and I wasn't good enough at that time because I was making a transition from 2D to 3D, which is a big, at least at that time for me
Yeah.
personally. I mean, for some other people, it might have been easier,
Yeah.
but for me, it was a big transition from working on flipping paper all day long to working in an app
Computer. Yeah.
moving
Yeah.
around a 3D character in the interface, right? So that was a
Yeah.
big hurdle with using controls to move, a character where you can just draw it and it's simple, getting your arcs and your overlapping right, squash and stretch, all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Really,
And
it
that
was
was a
hard to.
big thing. That, of course, like you said, when Toy Story came out and 3D started to really explode. That was kind of the big fear of a lot of traditional animators that okay, this is just one. Some of them just didn't weren't hard, had a hard time making the jump, didn't want to make the jump, felt like 3D was just gonna, take their jobs and kill them because they were doing traditional stuff. But it was, turned out to just be another form of animation. Do you feel like coming into Disney when you did during the paper flipping and the shooting of the individual shots and everything like that? Do you feel like that gives you a better foundation of animation um, as to, it pertains to what you're how you're doing it now? Do you feel like that was a good time for you to come in and learn kind of the craft of really animating, if as opposed to if you came in now when they're doing it pretty much all on computers and everything like that?
That's a very good question. I personally, I mean, it's a disclaimer here, please. Everybody looks at this differently. There's some great 3D animators that never touched a piece of paper in their life, right?
Yeah,
So I say for me personally, from where I was coming from, it helped me, right, to understand overlaps and follow through, um, pushing past a point. If you're squashing and stretching something, or something is going down, you go past it to give a cushion to go out of it, right? And it gives like a bounce, like so it's nothing just hits the wall. It's just kind of like, and then you come out of it. You come out of it fast. I'm talking about a timing thing. I
yeah,
don't want to get
yeah,
crazy with animation, but um, I think it helped me. It was just correlating those ideals that I had learned and trained for all those years into 3D, right? And then out of forced attrition, I had to do that because a lot of the 2D guys were getting killed off because either you learn this shit or you wouldn't get no job. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So I ended up taking, and actually David was when we were in college. He was already. I was still. I actually believe it or not, Don. I wanted to be uh, Michelangelo, Caravaggio, fine artist painting, right? Like I
mm,
wanted. I didn't even want to be no animator. That
yeah.
wasn't even in my sights. I liked looking at the Disney stuff and all the cartoons growing up, but I wanted to be more realistic,
Fine art
real
painter.
real
Yeah,
artist. That's what I was all about in college. And then but because I had the skill to draw, they were lucky enough to take me, and I was lucky enough to go from there. But it took about five, when I was at Disney, about 5 or 6 years, really, to really become an animator, to really understand, like, okay, now I kind of understand how to do this,
in the
right?
computer. Yeah.
It takes a long time, and it's not something that you know that just comes
Yeah,
off.
it's not a quick thing. Even now, it's not a quick thing. Even with computers, you know.
It's hard to do, man. This takes a long. It might take you 40 years of your life before you finally be like, you know what, I'm actually pretty decent at this. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I try to explain this to young folks because when I was teaching and doing, it's like, you ain't getting this over in 2 years or two
No,
months. It ain't happening. You know what I mean? At least it
no.
ain't happening for me. You know what I mean? So I had to work hard to get to the level that I am and then be able to do this stuff. And then, like I said, I still think I suck. I still
Yeah.
got some stuff I need to work on. And I hate to use stuff like that. I always like to come from a positive perspective, but
Well, I think
um,
that's every. I think every animator or creative. I won't say just animator, but I think every creative, in a sense, is a little hard on themselves because I think I could have done better at this or done better at that, and that just helps make your craft better. If you're a little harder on yourself and use that to push you to learn even more and get even better at it, which is why I think even the big ones, they'll still say, I still have a lot to learn. And they've been in
listen,
the industry.
I'll tell you a secret. I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry about
No,
that, Don. The most humble people, the people don't understand the difference between being humble and confident. Now, I'm humble, but I'm confident that I can do it, right? I'm humble that um, it's not an arrogance thing. It's just from a confidence. Like if you the best motherfucker in the place, I'm coming at you, right? To learn what you need to learn, so I can get to where I need to go. You know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
not it's not from an arrogant standpoint. It's from I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? I'm intense. I'm hungry. I want to be great at this, right? Like I look at it like at my stage and my age. I talk to this about my daughter a lot. My time is running out. It's either you make it happen or you don't. It's
yeah,
over. Because when you go on 6 feet under, that's it. It's a wrap. So you better do what you got to do as soon as possible to make it happen. And
yeah,
so if you can't act on something, it's like if you can't breathe, if you want this as bad as you can't breathe, this is a quote from, I listen to a lot of motivational things from Eric Thomas and a lot of these motivational
yeah,
speakers and stuff. And I read a lot of books like this, a
yeah.
lot of
The
success
Alchemist,
books.
yeah, yeah,
I read a lot of stuff that you put in your brain. It's all between your ears, right? This is a comeback for me. You know what I mean? There's been a lot of great years for me, and there's been a lot of down years for me that I don't really like talking about. But like, this is like my second time around to really make it happen. And like, you got to be hungry for like knowledge, learning, and just getting better. You got to be. I get up every morning, even for my own company. I get up every morning 2 or 3 in the morning. I'm working. I'm grinding when people are sleeping. I'm working hard. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Making mistakes, failing all the time, failing. I fail more than I succeed. Um, but you learn more from those failures than the successes. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Because that's the
yeah,
stuff that you keep in your brain on knowing what to do and how to do it better next time. You know what I mean?
yeah. No, I'm with you there.
I
I'm
think
a big.
I'm talking so much here. I want this to be. I want you to talk, man.
No,
So
I'm trying to get in where I feel. I feel like a double dutch here. Get in where you fit in.
all right, man. Sorry about that.
Nah, but I,
They said I got a quote here, man. Be on time, pay attention, shut up, and only be spoken to. You need to be spoken to. Sorry about that.
hey, I already knew that you had a lot of value to bring. So, like I said, that was the big reason, one of the big reasons why, like I said, I was just so excited about having you on. And like you, I'm a big proponent of self development, reading books, listening to motivational people. And another quote, a guy I listened to, Jim Rohn, he's passed
Yeah,
now. He said you're the guardian of the door to your mind. So whatever you let in is what's going to grow, and you're
exactly.
the one that decides what information you take in and let sprout. And so that's a big crucial thing that I think most people don't tend to work on is their mind
They don't
controlling,
work with
really
their mind.
having control of your mind.
It's
You know,
all between the ears. It's all between. If somebody's telling you, that's why I don't believe in the imposter syndrome stuff. I'm like, that's bullshit. You like you're just in your head too much, right? It
yeah,
happens to everybody to some degree, and usually it happens on L's. When I mean by L's, meaning you failed at something or you failed at a task or you didn't do well. So then you go home and you getting this stupid stuff going through your head, and you're like, oh, do I suck? Do I? Da, 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 da.
yeah,
And it's
all
really
that
just
self talk. You know,
dumb stuff. It's a fake thing that's like, stop it. You there? You at this company for a reason. Obviously, they believe in you. You wouldn't be there.
no,
So it's just, you know, it's just a dumb thing that it's like get out of your head, stop it, just pick yourself up. Like I watch a lot. I play sports too, and I watch a lot of boxing. I watch a lot. Dudes get knocked on the mat. You get back up. You keep swinging. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you knock him out. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a lot. It's just a lot of things. You gotta work at it each and every day, and
yeah,
just keep until you get better,
yeah.
and strive for that greatness. So you
No,
know,
I agree. I agree. It's a hard thing to do because we're so conditioned to think a certain way. So you have to, like you said, you have to actively take control of your mind to rule over your thoughts. Most people we let our thoughts kind of rule us and move us, but it takes you do have control. We're the only creature. We are the only creature that has the power of decision. We can make whatever decision we want. Go left, go right. Go north and go south. We're the only ones that can make that decision. Other animals they run by instinct
yeah,
and that.
survive.
So
Yeah,
that's what gives us power. But it takes an active person to take control of that power. Let's say
exactly.
hey to some people that are joining us here. Miss Granny, I appreciate you tuning in, Miss Maggie. Hey everyone and guests. I'm last. You're not last, but you're here. That's that's the main thing, Maggie. You're here. Crossworks. Hello. Appreciate you tuning in and joining the show for sure. And yes, we do have daughter here in the house. Hey, Dad.
God, this was all about right here. This is about my daughter, man. Everything. You know what I'm saying?
Miss
I love
Melina, we appreciate you tuning in. And
this is about my
Dad does it for you, for sure. In a Vision Media, all right, AC, love your work, fam. You are a great inspiration to me, bro. Hey, that's why I had him on, because I know he's an inspiration for me. So I know he's going to be an inspiration to so many other people as well. Mr. Mario, appreciate you tuning in from Nigeria, my African brother. Appreciate you tuning in for sure. Helicopter FX, go Antoine. Yes, yes, yes. All right, all right, all right. And hey,
man. Will.
downtown the mill, I can so relate to that. Having a mentor is so important. Yes, so important. Having somebody that believes in you, and that is really willing to help you, learn. And I think that's, when you ask somebody, um, hey, I want to learn from you, that's a compliment to them, letting them know, hey, I know you know more than I do. I want to learn from you, for sure. Oh, bot, appreciate you for sure coming in. Maybe you should contact Big E, WWE. I don't think he'd fit into the format there, Mr. Allbot, but I appreciate the suggestion, and I appreciate you always tuning in. Uh, Ahmed, let me get your comment up here for sure. I hope I didn't freeze up here. Okay, come on now. But everybody, I appreciate it again, and